How long gone? It felt lit. It's a sunny Thursday here in New York City. I'm joined by my co-host and friend Jason Stewart, aka Them Jeans. What's good?
It is I, Them Jeans. Just another early morning. I'm sure our guest is somewhere far away. That's why we're doing an early pod, right? He's in Antarctica or something. I think so,
actually. Yeah,
Portugal.
Well, yeah, somewhere where it's evening is my guess.
That's cool though. I mean, I don't mind. I'm up early, as you know, but it's cold. I mean, the weather in LA and New York is the exact same right now. It's like 49 degrees in both cities. What's up with that, bro?
It's pretty nice now. It's warming up, but I mean,
fuck you.
I thought it was like 100 degrees over the weekend, or was that just at Coachella?
I was just at Coachella, but I mean, it's been very up and down, up and down. I was looking at a video. Our friends over at Rita's in London, shout out to those guys over there. Hi, their chef Gabriel, he was on the pod a while ago, and they were eating like this spicy fried chicken sandwich on a hot cross bun for Easter. And I'm like, how are all these people in London, commonly known as the most dreary, cold, gloomy place? They're all wearing t-shirts, and I'm wearing fucking my camber sweats and a hoodie. Things are not happening the way they're supposed to be happening.
Yeah, I mean, look, man, the world is upside down. It's topsy-turvy. That's just kind of how it goes. We can't expect or depend on anything. Mm-hmm. That's how I go through life, at least.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right, Chris Black. And if you've discovered our podcast from the 2 reels that we've put out, welcome. Thank you to our friend Hannah for cranking those out. We're going to be doing some more of those and maybe some more video podcasts, depending on if the label can pay for it. Lord, you're up next. Let's do this. I was looking. There's a popular Twitter image that I wanted to talk to you about. It was like a good prompt for people to talk about, but there was a photo of like a hotel room. Not bad, not good. And it says the cold indifference of the mid-sized Hilton Garden Inn, 25 minutes from downtown. And then people use it as a prompt to, just talk about life on the road. A lot of touring musicians can relate to it, or business travelers. And they were sort of talking about like, what is the ideal thing to do in the situation? You're in a mid-level Hilton somewhere in a mid-sized town. Maybe there's 2 beds and you don't do anything about it. The air conditioner is definitely a wall unit, but a nicer one. And people are like, Chipotle bowl and a Diet Dr. Pepper and storage war. So they're like the food, the drink, what they're watching on TV, and maybe the drug, half of a blunt.
No, I mean, I totally get this. I've been in the situation.
Room service, bad pizza.
There's no such thing as room service at one of those places.
That's true.
The reality, you have to use your own Uber Eats, DoorDash, Caviar, Postmates, one of the evil delivery corporations.
It's a good call out.
But I would say you got to go a little bit bad boy to kind of.
Are you DoorDashing, or are you getting something from the little kiosk area by the check-in counter? Like, ooh, these get you a little Oreo Twix and a Sobe.
I mean, I do appreciate that when those kind of hotels do have the little canteen to pick up snacks, because it's only
canteen is a good word for it.
It's only the highlights of like a gas station. It's only the good. There's no like healthy shit. There's no fake Whole Foods stuff. It's straight up hits: Butterfinger, Twix, M&Ms, peanut M&Ms, Coca-Cola,
shelf-stable cheeses.
Exactly.
I like the pack where we were at the store a couple days ago, and Carolyn was like, "Oh, this is so you," and it's literally the rectangle log of pepperoni and the rectangle log of cheddar, both in the same size, both kind of like the long Tetris block. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, of course. Yes.
Runs it's like a Minecraft dick, 6 inches long, about a quarter inch on either side. Go ahead.
Is the idea that you put both in your mouth at the same time? Pause. Or so you get the perfect bite?
It's kind of really however you want to do it. It's just like an Oreo, Chris. You want to bunch into it. You want to split her open and you want to lick that thing.
No, splitting the Oreo open and giving it a lick is twisted. You got to eat it as a sandwich, as God intended. And I mean, I don't do this, obviously.
Many would disagree. I would say that you may be in the minority. I would say it's at least 50-50.
I have no problem.
Splitters versus chompers.
I have no problem being in the minority on this.
You never spread that thing open and gave it a lick?
No, that it's not. I don't even consider that with a Nutter Butter either. When there's peanut butter,
Chris, you gotta treat your girl right. Come on, bro.
No, bro. Oreo's got to be. I mean, honestly, the other thing with that is if you want to dip the Oreo, which is delicious, something I haven't done since childhood, it needs to be a sandwich for it to really work, in my opinion. You know what I mean?
Sure.
You can't dunk half. It doesn't work the same way to me.
Watch me, bitch.
Watch me.
But yeah, I mean, you're not even if you haven't dunked since Clinton was in office, then I don't really think you have really a position to comment on this publicly.
I bet I've had Oreos more recently than you have, and that's sad. But probably
it's not
true.
the flex that you think it is, sweetie.
I mean, I think David Cho gets the limited edition Oreos, which are interesting. You know, but I got remember those Ritz cracker sandwiches with chocolate in the middle that I showed you from the Japanese grocery store?
Of course.
Those were smacking.
Mm-hmm.
Those were very, very good.
It's no Hornbles Chornbles, but it's pretty good.
Yeah, you keep saying that, and I'm glad they sent you free stuff, but they got to change the name. I don't know what to say. They got to change the name.
Well, I was thinking about
I'm
the
not
name.
saying it out loud. I'm not saying it out loud.
To me, the name, you know, it's they're taking a page out of the Smuckers with a name like that. It's got to be good. I think it's a name that is so embarrassing to say out loud that it becomes a conversation piece, which then in turn becomes its top of mind, organic, word of mouth advertising. It's a conversation starter, if you ask me.
I mean,
you know, but it's also bad. But you know what isn't? But I mean, I like that, you know, because like products have gone so far inside their own ass, where like everyone is trying to find like a cool product with a cool name that's unique and different, and they just make up these like zillennial words for their direct-to-consumer aioli product.
I'm sure there's some great story behind it, and like that's your grandmother's middle name or something. But but I'm sorry, I just bought some David's protein bars. That's a good name. Mm-hmm. David's is a great fucking name. The packaging is clear. It's very easy.
I've heard that it is not good though.
No, they are good. The one I've had is very good.
What flavor are you eating though?
It's like a peanut butter chocolate one, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. I mean, protein bars. The worst one of all time is the RX bar. That literally tastes like chalk and dirt. And then you kind of go from there, and there's not much good except Go Macro, and now David has entered the chat. But there's no competition for Go Macro until now.
Bro, I mean there are 500 different protein bars.
There's they're
so
bad
much competition.
though. But I'm saying they're not competition because they're bad.
You haven't had I bet you there's 12 bars out there that you don't even know exist that you would like more.
Exactly. But I mean, there's too many out there is the issue. It's much like music. How can I ever get through it all?
Yeah, I use Spotify.
I think Go Macro has risen to the top, and you see it more places because it's probably the most popular at a certain price point. Where a Cliff, but you know, I know you like this and I do too, but a classic Cliff never did me wrong in a pinch.
No. What about a Power Bar?
Those were too early. They tasted like shit, if I remember correctly. Are they still around?
I think so, yeah.
I mean, they were the OG though. That's like what they would give you at like a 5K turkey trot, you know, after the race in 2001.
Look, they got a Power Bar Protein Plus, 20 grams of teen, 4 grams of fiber, gluten-free chocolate peanut butter. I bet your fat ass would eat that up.
Yeah, I mean, chocolate and peanut butter are going to taste pretty good no matter how bad it is or good it is. Yeah, there's a baseline good, you know what I mean? But I didn't know that. I didn't know that Power Bar was still around. Great logo.
So you're in New York right now, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm going to Durham in the morning, but I'm in New York today. I got a full slate, but luckily the sun is shining, so I'm going to be able to get through it.
I'm excited. You going to hit Durham, North Carolina,
dude. That's
something.
I'm craving some Durham time. I'm Durham pilled. I really like it.
I'm craving some Durham time. No one's ever said that.
It feels like if Athens was really great. Kind of, because Duke is there, so there's like a nice college, you know, which always kind of informs things. Mm-hmm. But then because it's like,
yeah, but it's Duke.
I mean, everybody. I don't have any feelings about Duke. I know people are supposed to hate them because they're rich and white and successful. Is that the issue?
It's good. It's good versus evil, Chris.
Who's
my heels and the Dukes?
Oh, I'm definitely Duke in that case. I've never even thought about it.
I mean, that is the most. You know, when people ask like, "What is up with How Long Gone?" Like, how would you? And I'm like, "Oh, I'm like a Type 9 personality, and Chris is a 3, and whatever it is."
we could nip that in the bud.
If you want to distill it, yeah. If you live in the American South, Chris is Duke, and I'm Carolina Heels. That's all you got to know. That's all you got to say.
I don't really know what that means, but it sounds right to me.
Classic Duke boy. Duke boy would say some shit like that.
I mean, I guess Duke has been in some hot water over the years for different issues, but I don't really.
I mean, it's more like your vineyard vines and I'm Arc'teryx. You know what I mean?
I would not. Like that. I would no. I think you're. You wish that was the case, but at University of North Carolina and Duke, I imagine the outfits.
I'm stretching a little bit. I'm reaching.
Are quite
and stretching.
Similar. The outfits are going to be similar. That's not going to be the difference.
I'm not talking about the physical clothing. I'm talking about the spiritual personality manifestation of both brands.
I can tell you're somebody who's never really been to North Carolina by what you're saying.
Yes, I have. Yes, I mean,
you've been there once, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was a beautiful plantation home. No wonder you like it down there in Durham, actually. Now that I think of it.
That's in South Carolina, not North Carolina.
No, I've DJ'd a wedding.
Oh, I remember this. Okay.
In Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
When you say it like what's his name? Why am I blanking on his name? Spacey, Kevin Spacey, come on the pod. All right, we have a guest today.
I was going more the hot dad from season 3 of White Lotus, but Spacey works too. Yeah, that's another way. How Long Gone is this? Chris is Kevin Spacey, and I'm the dad who almost keeps killing himself on season 3 of White Lotus. We have a guest today.
I still don't know what that means either, but go ahead.
You seen the picture of like a chiseled, 59-year-old guy with a Duke t-shirt on holding a revolver up to his skull?
No, the only pictures I've seen are Walton Goggins with his shirt off and the bucktooth chick being mad about SNL. That's the only things I've seen. Yeah. I'm not kidding.
Sarah Squirm, how do you sleep at night?
You got to nut up. If you're on the most popular show on television, you got to a Saturday Night Live mock is that's like getting knighted. That's the goal. I don't understand.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. Maybe it's because she's not from here. She doesn't understand that it's a compliment.
I think it's more so she made fun of a physical disadvantage that she's unable to change.
Well, it's not a physical disadvantage. She wouldn't have that role in the television show if she didn't have those teeth. The teeth are cool. Like, I like the teeth. I think they're cool.
Counterpoint.
Yeah,
it's not a bad point. All right, we got our guest today. We have Noah here, Panda Bear. His new album is called
Sinister Grift. Which is also what this podcast is, which is nice.
We're going to chat with the official playful menace of indie rock. Let's give him a call.
Oh, wow. We're getting a view into the lab here. I like this. That's a nice plasma you got there. That's a nice size.
Oh, yeah. Pretty sweet. It's a 55.
No, 55 is looking good. I mean, you're not watching a lot of college sports. What do you use it a lot?
This is the guest room. So
okay.
It's not used that often. If my son is ball hogging the one in the living room, we'll come in here. But
okay.
Otherwise, so you're saying that it doesn't get a whole lot of use.
So you're saying that your son could sometimes kind of take over the TV remote control and the what's being viewed in the household.
Yeah, and he'll just kind of splay out on the sofa so nobody else can sit there. He really dominates the room sometimes.
That's cool. Taking up space is what we call that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's man-spreading in your home.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
He's kind of fucked up
too. He's kind of bigger than me.
How old is he?
He's about to turn 15.
Oh shit! Really? Okay. I was for some reason I was expecting a smaller child.
No, I have my daughter's 19 and my son is 15.
19? That's an adult, bro.
Yeah, it's cool. She's kind of coming out of the I don't fuck with dad zone, and he's entering. So
okay, so
one door closes and another opens up.
Okay, so she's like, oh, my dad's actually pretty cool. He's not like the other dads, but it's cool.
Let's not go overboard. It's not like that, but
okay.
He will talk about stuff that I might be thinking about or interested in.
As soon as the new record got a 9 on Anthony Fanato or whatever, he's like, you know what, you're pretty cool, Dad.
He did mention that. He did bring it up.
Mhm.
Oh, actually, no. I don't know if you saw the score, but he kept asking me when is the Needle Drop going to review it.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not super familiar with the. I've seen like I've seen it, but I don't understand what is it. Just some nerd and he's reviewing music.
Yeah.
He works very hard. He cranks out stuff. He's got videos going up all the time. He's very busy online. He just sort of seems like he's kind of it seemed like Rolling Stone in the 70s and then Rolling Stone in the 90s was a different thing, and Pitchfork kind of
Mhm.
came up.
hmm
And now Pitchfork is what Rolling Stone was in the 90s, and Fantano's kind of the guy now.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, but is he like a Nardwuar type with like deep knowledge, or is he more of like a straight shooter?
No, he knows stuff. Yeah.
I think he's an ex-hardcore guy like us, Chris. I think he
Okay.
probably used to be fat and is skinny now, but like Noah was saying, you know, his review of any old album from Panda Bear to Lady Gaga, it's gonna get so many more views than Rolling Stone and Pitchfork
Sure.
combined.
He doesn't like my stuff too, so it was kind of I feel like I kind of broke through or
You're
something.
saying his historically he shit on you, but this time
Yeah.
he came to the table.
Yeah, he was into this one.
That's great.
That's
You know,
cool.
you got to win him over at some
I
point.
mean, if you get a 9, I mean, it's weird because people are sort of just like, I'm going to become the voice of reason. I'm going to be the authority that you guys judge art on. And just one random dude with a green screen can really shift a lot of people's lives and culture. I'm sure, you know, thousands and thousands of people who have never heard of you are going to listen to your album because of that bald fucker.
I hope so. My son is more into it, or it's on his radar because Fantano will talk to rappers and stuff, and that's more.
So is your son a Playboy Cardi guy?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
This is a common theme on the show that anybody we have on the show that has like a teenage son is into Playboy Cardi.
We listened to it together. It was pretty sick.
Do you? But you understand that it's bad because you're an adult.
I like some tracks on it. I like. I'm more of a whole lot of red guy.
Well, I mean, we're talking to an
Sure.
experimental artist right here, and a lot. I
understand- I
I've said it
understand that.
before,
I
but
understand that.
with Cardi, if you consider it not as like this is a new rapper to check out, and like this is a piece
Yeah,
of
yeah,
experimental audio, you know, a lot of the tracks are fucking, you know, Aphex Twin level fucked up, if you ask me.
I think he's cool.
Oh, I think he's.
I'm into
I
it.
think he's cool. I just would never want to listen to that. That's all. I think it's cool, and I'm glad it exists. But I don't. It's not gonna come through my MacBook Air speakers.
I mean, that's fair.
Are you guys still living in Portugal?
Yeah, I live in Lisbon.
Okay.
So you have the golden passport, or what's really good?
No, I I married a Portuguese woman. We're not together anymore, but that's how I got my residence card.
But you got. But you're good as far as the card goes.
I'm good till 2032 or somewhere around there.
Okay. All right. So what happens in 2032? You got to reapply
Back to Baltimore.
I think I'll have to reapply. Yeah.
as a solo artist.
I used to never think about going back to the States, but I confess I've begun to consider it sometimes.
What do you, aside from your divorce, what are some other reasons? Because America's not really doing super hot right now in the world's view.
I guess just homesick.
Mhm.
I can kind of get by speaking the language here, but all these little things of being able to joke around with somebody and kind of break the ice and tell a little joke to kind of understand each other. I miss all of that. I was a real shy guy growing up and felt like I kind of took me a long time to sort of develop those techniques, how to make myself feel comfortable and others, especially strangers. And now I kind of went back to the drawing board in a way.
Yeah.
I guess I miss the sort of comfort of being able to do that easily.
That's the best reason I can possibly think of, honestly.
Yeah,
Like
honestly,
that's
that's something I never considered. But yeah, those little, you know, because I'm similar to you. Grew up a little shy, used humor and awkward, you know, random things like that to endear myself to other people who have a similar dark sense of humor, maybe, or whatever it is. And so much of that is really hyper localized on, you know, specific nomenclatures, and that would be all lost if I was in fucking Lisbon.
Yeah, I just kind of walk around, sound like a caveman. I don't think I'm
Me want food.
especially charming to anybody around here.
But I'm sure you've made some friends. You've got your spots that you go to. I mean, you've been there for a while.
Yeah, I've been here for 20 years.
Haven't picked up any little nomenclatures at all in those 2 short decades, my friends?
A little bit, but I come and go so much. And
Yeah.
when I was with my ex-wife, she, if there was something that needed to be talked about, the kids' schools or something like
She'll
that,
take care of it.
She
Yeah,
was
of course.
usually handling it, you know? So
No, division of labor. I mean, that makes sense. Obviously, that's like the default in that situation.
That's like whenever I go to New York, and if I'm with Chris, who lives there, I don't even pay attention to what direction or what streets I'm on. I just follow him like a little puppy on a leash. But when I'm alone, then I'm like, oh, fuck. It goes 4th Street and then Park Avenue and then 7th Street.
you just freeze.
I just freeze. Well, you get to hang out with our old friend Sonic Boom, though, right?
Yeah, he lives about 30-minute drive outside the city in Sintra, but we hang out a bunch, yeah.
So you live in the city, and that little freak lives out in the woods.
In the playa.
But kind of, yeah. That's a fair description, I suppose.
But Portugal is a place that a lot of Americans talk about living in, and I've never been actually, and I'm sure it's quite charming. But is the appeal merely like weather and food and the normal stuff, or is there something we don't understand?
I think that's most of it. There is a kind of it feels like a relaxed atmosphere around here, which I think is appealing because so many places in the States can feel so kind of charged, and here there's like a tranquility kind of in the air.
Tranquillo.
I will say there's so many Americans here now. I went maybe 10, 12 years with the only guy I knew was this guy Randy from Baltimore, coincidentally.
Shout out Randy.
All right, what's Randy? What's Randy up to?
Now they're everywhere. Everywhere I go, I feel like in my neighborhood, I hear more English on the street than Portuguese, which is really wild.
Do the local townspeople sort of look to you and blame you for this insurgence of Americanos?
I definitely get different looks than I used to. I think they're pretty fed up with it.
Yeah, I mean, when I've talked to people who live in Spain and Barcelona, and a lot of the similar, like, these fucking Americans, and I'm like, well, you are an American, and they're like, yeah, but it's different. I got here, it's always like that forever. But I feel bad for you guys. How's your Portuguese though?
It's okay. All right, it's functional. Again, very caveman-esque, but
yeah.
You should try some Duolingo, when you're on the bus, got time to kill.
Yeah, I mean, really, I should just go out and talk to people and maybe take a couple of lessons. But
That's fine.
Actually, I met this guy. I met this guy in Milan, who's a therapist in Milan, and he's like, most of my clients are in New York, and I do it, on Zoom or whatever. But I'm learning. I go to Italian classes every day because like he goes like 5 days a week. To like it's a college class basically, because he's like, this is the only way I'm gonna like
that's the way to
really
do it.
get it, like really get it, is to just like really focus on it for a couple years.
Yeah, you gotta dive in, and I resisted that for so long, and I feel like now that I'm gonna go back to the States, I should really do it.
Where would you go if you came to the good old US of A?
East Coast. I'm a real East Coast guy.
Wherever the crabs are biting.
I don't think I could live anywhere else, but anywhere. Yeah. I miss crabs still. Anywhere from like North Carolina up to I'd live in Maine. I'd prefer not to live in Massachusetts, but pretty much anywhere else.
Yeah, no one wants to live in Massachusetts. I mean, I feel.
I love the East Coast, anywhere but Massachusetts, and I'm there from Durham to Greenland.
I hate all the Boston sports teams. I kind of just root against them more than. Because all my teams suck, so that's all I got.
Well, Boston is a place that many...
When in doubt, hate Boston is how most people...
Yeah, I mean, that's a common... If you live in New York, at least. But I used to really hate Boston. I kind of don't mind it as much anymore. That being said, I also never need to go there again,
Yeah, I'm from Baltimore. I spent some time in high school outside of Philadelphia. And Baltimore and Philly kind of hate New York and Boston. Those cities never think about us. We're not even on their radar as like a possible
That's true.
Rival.
Boston doesn't even think to call you gay, and that is what stings the most.
Yeah, that's where I'm coming from.
What are your sport? Are you like a Ravens head?
I was more of a Washington football team guy.
Are you talking about the formerly known as the Redskins, now known as the
Yes, the
Commanders?
Commanders. Yeah,
The worst name in the history of
terrible.
sports.
Well, I'm blessed with two of the worst names in sports because I'm also a Wizards fan.
Wizards. Yeah, Wizards just doesn't scream athleticism. You know, it doesn't really give off a good vibe.
We went from the best to the worst because the Bullets were the coolest.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Bullets is good, and obviously in today's polite society, we couldn't name something after a bullet.
Yeah.
No.
The Bullets and the Redskins together, and we've got some stolen land going down. Do you have any history with like the Baltimore club music back in the day, like early 2000s, hanging out with Diplo at the Mausoleum or any shit like that in Philly?
No, I saw him. We first met. I think it was a Panda Bear show at the church. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he was there, and he knew Danny, my friend Danny, who does video for the show. And I met him after that, and then just kind of here and there since then. But I wouldn't say we know each other super well.
Yeah, I feel like right now, I mean, you and I are going to be performing at this festival in LA called Just Like Heaven, and it's sort of like throwback to that early, indie sleaze-ish kind of era, mid 2000s, and I was sort of part of where that your musical side collided with like the DJ electronic music side, and I feel like that is really starting to come back more now that it's been 20 years. So I feel like we need to get some Panda Bear remixes out there in Ibiza, in Miami. Do you have anything in the works?
I like to always be working on stuff, so there's always stuff in I kind of feel like I need to I feel so lucky to do it that I kind of feel like I need to earn it all the time.
Okay,
So I'm
well,
always working on something.
but I'm saying you've already made this great album, Pitchfork Best New Music, on top of all the other albums and great songs you made over the years, but you've already done the work. Just email the vocal stems to your manager, send it out to all these lame-ass DJs, and let's get like indie dance music back in the world, you know what I mean?
That's all it takes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying you've already done the hard part. Now you just need some guy with Ableton in his laptop in his apartment somewhere in Williamsburg or whatever it is.
Is this the sleaze part of Indie Sleaze? Because I never understood what that was. Why people call it
now that you bring that up,
it didn't feel particularly sleazy to me.
no, I would completely agree
I was
with you.
living sleazy back then.
But what does
unfortunately.
sleazy mean? Like doing drugs isn't sleazy. That's fun. What is sleazy wearing American Apparel? Like I don't know what that actually.
Sleazy is like a photographer telling a girl to maybe pull a tit out. Maybe that might be better.
Yeah, nobody I knew was doing stuff like that. Nobody I was hanging out with was rocking.
Yeah,
like
me
that.
neither, Jason. Me neither, Jay. That's interesting, Jason.
You guys are
Yeah,
fucking
Jason.
pussies.
I'll take it.
Well, Chris is a big fan of this photographer Terry Richardson, and he sort of is the godfather of that, if you ask me.
Yeah, but Terry Richardson wasn't at Cinespace with you, Jason. He's at least doing it for French Vogue.
Dave and I did photos with him once.
Oh yeah,
You did Terry shot you for what?
All the press that we got in the beginning, it was all fashion magazines. So it was one of those. It was like
One of
V magazine.
Yeah.
Sure.
Did Terry have you do it soft or hard?
He did ask us to take our shirts off.
I mean, that's reasonable.
That's fine. That's
I
fine.
think that's reasonable. Did you take your shirt off?
That's as Indie Sleaze as it got. We did, yeah.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, I like that. Do you have all of this stuff somewhere? Do you have like all of that early? You don't have any of it.
No, I don't have anything. I'm lucky that a bunch of the guys in the other guys in the band have kind of documented everything because I have nothing at all.
Okay.
You don't have the archival spirit that others may have.
Yeah, like I don't even have all the records or
you don't have all the records?
important stuff.
I think that's cool. I mean, like
I think it's cool
I think
too.
the older I've got, the more I'm just like I don't need this shit.
I don't have a record player.
Bro, that's the coolest thing you've ever said. I'm so happy to hear that because record players are for nerds, and we all know that.
What about CDs? You got a CD player?
I don't.
Okay.
I do like CDs though. I think I like CDs more than vinyl, but
Did your new album come out on CD?
maybe.
Oh,
See, this is sort of case in point. I have no idea what's going on.
all right. So you roll out of bed.
But that's the way it should be. You're the artiste.
Yeah, you got people for that. You shouldn't have to worry about anything. I'm surprised you showed up today.
Well, for you guys.
Yeah. We appreciate that.
For us, anything. For us, anything.
I want to talk a little bit about the album. I've got a few questions. There's a song called 50 Milligrams, and I wanted to know 50 milligrams of what?
That Zoloft.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a song kind of about depression or just like a hard time.
Okay.
Not weed.
Okay.
Although I do like weed, but it's got nothing to do with weed.
Okay. Is 50 milligrams considered a large, small, or regular amount of Zoloft?
I think it's on the lower side. I was trying to get off it, and that was the size of the pill that I was taking.
You were tapering.
And I tried to just stop them, and I would get all. I'd done it once before, maybe 20 years ago, and I think I was on tour at the time, and I guess I was just kind of built different, so I didn't really have much of a problem. But this time, I would get all dizzy during the day, just like weird like spells where I would almost pass out. And
wow.
But then I found that you can get the liquid form, and so you make the dosage much smaller. That was kind of my cheat.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know it came in liquid
I
form.
didn't know either, but yeah, that's how I.
So you just drop a couple in like your sparkling water or whatever, or you go straight. Okay, that's not bad.
I probably went straight with it sometimes, but
a little Zoloft cappuccino.
yeah, I can't remember.
Are you a big weed smoker, or is it occasional for you at this point?
I wouldn't say big. It's kind of only when I'm working. That's when I like it, but I trip out. I kind of freak out if I'm around people. So I'll batten down the hatches, like lock all the doors of the studio and go at it.
And do your family, do your kids know when that red light's, the on-air light is on outside the studio, don't come a knocking unless it's an emergency?
They're not coming around anyway. They don't care.
Right.
They're like, I haven't seen Dad in weeks. I don't know, man. I don't know where.
Yeah, it's funny. I was talking to a friend, a fellow musician who will go unnamed, but we were when all the fires were happening in LA, at the beginning of the year.
Yeah,
and we were talking about at any moment we might have to evacuate our home or like save pull our neighbor out of their burning house or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, I can't smoke weed right now. What if I'm needed?
Yeah.
And sometimes, and that's stuck with me ever since January, whenever those fires happen. Like, I'm about to smoke weed, batten down the hatches, work on music or, whatever. Be creative, do some free writing. And I think, what if I'm needed? What if my wife calls me and is like, I'm in a car accident. You have to come right now.
Yeah.
Do you have a plan in case something goes down?
I feel like I never get so. I mean, this is something I've thought a lot about, especially when the kids were really young.
Yeah. I can't even imagine that part.
I always feel like I never get too turned that I'm not ready to, do what needs to be done.
Okay.
Should the moment call for it?
Got it.
Do what needs to be done. I remember, Jason. I remember this conversation, and I do think it was kind of. It felt like a breakthrough. It felt like, wow, I've never thought about that. As I haven't smoked weed in a long time, but I never considered. I always thought you could just snap out of it, but I guess for some people that's not true.
I mean, it depends on what you got to do. If I got to like drive really fast, that's not gonna be great.
I feel like something physical would be the best because you can kind of. I think that would. That, if I'm like having to carry out a body, from a burning house, I'm in fight or flight. I'm good to go.
You can overcome, sure.
Yeah.
But I guess, Chris, maybe you've just never been that needed.
Definitely not. No, definitely not.
Like some shit's going down. Let's call anyone but Chris. That's sort of the way you've designed your life.
Yeah, they're not calling me unless they need to ask if the loafers run too big.
Yeah, you ain't helping anybody move. You've been doing a lot of, I guess this is the first record that you put out in sort of the TikTok age of press and stuff like that. Instead of doing interviews for Rolling Stone or, a Tiny Desk is relatively new. But in terms of like doing the TikTok-y press, how do you feel about doing all of that?
I can't say that the press is my favorite part of the process, but I feel like I do it so that I can do the parts of the job that I do really enjoy. So, and I'm generally just happy that anybody cares. So
Right. Yeah.
I think that's the right attitude to have, man. Honestly, I don't think like selling yourself is everyone's thing. You know, like it's not everyone's like favorite thing to do, but it does.
But it's become a thing that you kind of have to do. You know, like sometimes, you know, like you were saying, the world has shifted, and the Pitchfork became Rolling Stone, and now Anthony is the Pitchfork. Like somebody who doesn't do that stuff or never wants to do it now has to like guess what song is playing on a busy New York street corner and stuff like.
And there's a lot of people involved in the thing that I'm doing. I mean, the label and other people I work with. So it feels I feel a responsibility to try to take care of everybody.
Yeah, this is something we've heard from other musicians where it's like there is like a responsibility you feel to kind of all this little industry that you have around you.
Got a lot of mouths to feed. Yeah, we were talking about that with Bon Iver and about how he doesn't really want to tour because he just simply doesn't want to.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's had to sort of deal with the burden of telling his 25, you know, musicians and tour and blah, 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 that like, hey, no job this year kind of thing, you know? And that seems like a really big burden to have, right?
I mean, there's a threshold. You got to make sure that you're taking care of yourself too. If you're not right, you can't do the best thing to help everybody else, you know? So
you got to put your oxygen on first.
That's right. That's right.
What is your approach to staying sane? Do you have tricks, or are you just kind of hardened at this point?
I don't think I have tricks. It's just I don't like to go out for very long. That helps me a lot. Usually somewhere around 2 weeks I start to kind of get loopy. So I don't generally go out for much more than that.
That's
but
nice.
yeah, I guess hardened at this point.
We were actually talking in the intro. There was like a tweet going around where it was describing a hotel room, like a mid-level Hilton somewhere 25 minutes out of a mid-level town. When you've been in that hotel room hundreds of times over the years as a touring musician, where it's not awful, but it's definitely not good. And about how in those certain moments, whatever you're watching something on TV and you're eating something, and there's like a beautiful kind of crescendo of all that going on. So if you are in that, you know, Hilton outside of Durham, North Carolina,
the Hilton Honors.
You're a member of the Hilton Honors.
I'm actually not a member, but I should be for how
that
much
changes
I've stayed
today,
there.
Noah. Hilton's a big listener. Okay, so you're in that hotel room.
Yeah, put me on.
You know, you've got gear in the hallway. The wall unit AC is pumping. What are you watching on TV, and what are you eating to find that little brief moment of comfort?
Probably not eating anything.
Really?
That's a tour staple. Just kind of starving generally. TV, I'll like cruise around in around here. There's often music TV, which is my favorite.
Videos.
In the States, I'll put on Sportscenter kind of straight away.
Yeah.
I just like it kind of going in the background.
I really like that you're a sports guy, because I got to be honest with you, Chief. I wouldn't have expected it. You know, it's a nice wrinkle. It's a nice wrinkle for you.
Yeah.
It's good.
Well, my older brother was an athlete, is an athlete. He's a tennis coach, and he was always playing sports, so I was always trying to be like him. I lost at everything all the time, which
Sure.
I think probably more than anything else has kind of defined my character.
So when you were in high school, how much better at basketball was he than you?
Basketball was one of the sports I did pretty good at.
Okay.
In terms of his kind of level of play.
Give him a run for his money.
I'm interested in your parents now, because this is they've got two very different. This is cool that you guys.
It's a real gay son thought daughter thing going on.
Yeah, you went your own way, kind of. Yeah, and I'm just surprised. You know, usually there's more similarities. You know,
why can't you be more like Matt?
I was the one they worried about. They probably imagined I was doing.
We kind of gathered that.
Much more indie sleaze things than I actually was.
Sure. So when things are popping off, were your parents like, "What is this freak shit you're into?" Or are they happy for you because they're reading about it in the New York Times?
They've always been super supportive. I don't think it's their cup of tea so much. So I only send them like the tiny desk. I sent to my mom and the rest of my family.
And you're like, Lizzo did this. Check that out, Mom.
I guess New York Times or something. They might enjoy that. But generally, they're just like, it's cool.
Sure. I always say if you're not asking them for money, they think it's cool, even if they don't understand it.
They still offer it though, so they obviously don't think I'm doing that good.
That's okay. So you're, dude, you have a 19-year-old daughter, and you've been a successful musician for 20 years, and your parents are still like, if you need a couple $100, let us know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's actually really nice and supportive and sweet, and a lot of people don't really have that option as a
of course,
as a safety net. So that is cool, and it probably feels good once you got to that level where you can tell your parents, like, I still go to noise shows, but you don't have to send me money anymore. You know what I mean? That's a real big, important threshold for guys like you.
Yeah. They probably do think I'm playing noise shows in somebody's loft somewhere.
Like, why can't you go to prom like your brother instead of this Black Dice 7-inch release?
Yeah.
That's all parents' dream is for you to go to prom and not go to a Black Dice 7-inch release. That goes across the board, I think, with all people.
Speaking of the tiny desk powered by Capital One, you opened with Fairy Lady, which is like, I guess, sort of a single on the record.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people are saying, whenever I play it, you get a lot of Beach Boys mentions. I'm sure you've heard a couple, right?
Yes. Yeah, I've heard a bunch of those.
Which flattering, I'm sure. But when I was listening to the Tiny Desk version of Fairy Lady, I was hearing Nirvana's Lithium a little bit for some reason. Is that an influence for you?
Yeah, for sure. That was one of the records my brother. I remember going to the mall and buying it with my brother. That record we liked. There weren't a whole lot of music that we both got into, but that one, Nevermind, we both liked.
Mm-hmm.
The Chronic, the first one, we both really liked.
Mm-hmm.
The first Rage Against the Machine album, we both really liked, and Daft Punk's first record called Homework, we were both big fans of. That's about it.
No Blood Sugar Sex Magic, no Metallica crossover.
I loved Blood Sugar Sex Magic when I was in high school. It was one of my favorite. It was probably the record that made me want to start playing guitar. Breaking the Girl was one of the first things I learned.
Yeah. What a tune! Was Frusciante on? Is Frusciante on Blood Sugar Sex Magic?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, we always come back to him for some reason on this show, as he
Super
quietly.
talented,
No, we don't. No, we don't. Red Hot Chili Peppers, one of the worst bands of all time, but he is a shredder.
Bro, I gotta go. I am out of here.
Well, I mean, maybe modern Chili Peps.
Did you read a Scar Tissue?
I actually have never read Scar Tissue, and that I would definitely like more than the music. No question. I mean, I love drugs. I love drugs.
Yeah, I've noted, like, from the New Yorker's Nomi Fry to Sporty and Rich's Emily Oberg, they both consider it to be one of the greatest books ever written. I don't know if I want to hear Kiedis that much, but I do need to read it at some point. But I think it's been tarnished. His reputation has been tarnished in my eyes, and it doesn't make me want to. I mean, his like age gap relationship stuff.
Pretty intense.
Starting to creep me out a little bit.
I mean, guys, relax. That's fine. I just think that it's the
60 and 19 is not a fine relax, bro.
Hey, man, Kiedis plays by different rules than we're allowed to play by. That's just the name of the game.
So does Jeffrey Epstein.
He's earned it, but I mean, it's not great. But I also think the output has been so bad for so long. I don't even notice the relationships because the music is so offensive.
Blood Sugar is so good.
That's funny.
Californication is so good.
The Conehead soundtrack.
Is that the one with Beavis and Butthead on the roller coaster?
Is it?
There's a video where Beavis and Butthead are on a roller coaster in a I'm pretty sure.
It rings a bell. I'm sure it's awesome. It sounds really good.
That song was called Love Roller Coaster, and it had a lot of animation similar to Daft Punk's Homework, the original kind of late 70s, early 80s style animation. Roller coaster of love.
I also famously hate animation, so that could have turned me off as well.
Damn.
I don't know how you feel about animation.
I'm for it. I'm into it.
How for it are you? Are you like an Adult Swim guy, or you just like it in a general sense?
More generally, yeah.
Okay. I just
I'm
find it.
not like an anime guy, although I do think Neon Genesis is kind of sick.
I don't know. I don't know what that is.
There's just a lot of religious kind of iconography in it that I
Okay.
think is cool.
Oh yeah, you have a history with studying the Lord a little bit, right? I think
Hmm.
I read that you went to college in hopes of learning about God more.
Yeah, that's this is sort of the yin and yang of my parents. They super supportive, but I didn't have anybody telling me like, why are you doing this?
They were so supportive they didn't tell you to stop doing stuff that was stupid. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. I just feel like I wasted everybody's time for a while there. But I was it was something I was super. I remain super interested in more the concept of God than kind of
Yeah.
religious practice.
So you mean like you decided to go to college to study religion and figure out what your version of God meant, and your parents, instead of being like, "What the hell? That's not going to make you any money. You need to get a job and become a blah blah blah," they're like, "Sounds good, Noah.
Yeah.
Follow your dreams."
Yes. I'm sure my mom said something similar to that. I don't think my dad said much generally, so he probably
Yeah.
didn't weigh in on that decision. But
Sounds
What
like a
did your
Maryland
parents
dad.
do for what'd your parents do for a living, if you don't mind me asking?
my mom, she just kind of volunteered at the school I was going to.
Yeah.
My dad was a surgeon.
Okay. So he
Mm.
was focused on saving lives. He couldn't be dealing with your ass.
He was working a lot.
Yeah, actually, and also speaking of your tiny desk, it was nice to see people performing at the tiny desk and not really smiling and not really like doing the. I mean, I'm not saying that you are not a smiley person, but usually when I see a lot of the tiny desks, it'll be like the studio musicians with the pop star, and everyone's like
Hmm.
super into it and doing my bass line thing. And it was good to see just like five rippers up on stage just doing the thing, playing the songs like how normal people do. So
Yeah, I just feel like it's
kudos to you.
not my thing. I gather talking to some people after the shows that it seems like I don't want to be there or that I'm not enjoying it. But and I think some people go to a show wanting that kind of banter or interaction, but it's just not how I get down.
No, bro. I want the songs. Play the songs and get out of here. I don't need you to think you're a stand-up comedian. You're
I would
doing it the
love
right
to be
way.
a stand-up comedian, but it's I'm not good at it.
Yeah, but you are like, you're playing fun music a lot of times. You've sort of been known as a cutie over the years, so they want a little cutie on stage. You know what I mean?
I don't. Thank you.
What is the
You're welcome.
we Jason and I both noticed one of your band members' outfits on the tiny desk, and
Oh, yeah, Timmy was wearing the Christmas sweater.
I believe Timmy is the bass player.
Mm-hmm.
Now, does he wear that sweater off season? Have you seen this before, or did he save this for the tiny desk?
Yeah, we'd seen it a couple times before that. I didn't know he was gonna be wearing it that day, but I'm happy he did.
Okay, so you don't police what your band you don't step in. Okay.
Hell no.
I mean, based on what I saw, you don't need to. It's a real freak show in a good way. Like, it's cool.
Yeah, that guy. What's his name? The long-haired Asian bass player with the Santa sweater.
Timco?
I've seen that guy around at shows. It seems like my entire life, and he's always been
Mm-hmm.
the cool older guy, long-haired Asian dude who is just like the coolest dude in the room. And I feel like I've been.
Did you grow up in LA?
Yeah, Southern California. But just like growing up, going to like I feel like I've literally seen him since like high school age as just like that's the cool long-haired Asian guy. And I never knew what he did, and I assume that he's been in like 75 bands, right?
He has been, yeah. He's the best.
He's
I'm
cool.
super lucky and grateful that he's doing this. Everybody in the band, they all do their own stuff, so I'm super lucky they're taking their time to do this thing with me.
Yeah. Well, hey, they're lucky that you're bringing them along, right?
I hope they feel that way.
They're like, do you pay me? All right, cool. I'm good. I'm happy to go.
Yeah.
It seems like a nice gig. You get to do what you want, wear what you want. You play some fun music, off you go. I wanted to ask you. I called you this on the intro, the playful menace, and I wanted to see what that sentence means to you, or if you could explain that more.
Can you elaborate a little bit?
I was reading a description of the record, and I think it was like, did you do an interview with Apple Music?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was discussed there about
Okay.
kind of like a character that maybe the Sinister Grift could be,
Yeah.
I don't know, circling around, but just the phrase, the playful menace kind of caught my attention. And I wanted to see if you had any other.
Yeah, I'm not
insight
sure
on
I
it.
think of myself that way so much, but certainly on the record there was a lot of contrasting light stuff and dark stuff,
Mm-hmm.
talking about really heavy things in sort of a lighthearted way and seeing how that would kind of
Mm-hmm.
happen. There's a song called Ends Meet, which is very Monster Mash to me.
Yeah.
I really wanted that sort of like something really bad is gonna someone's gonna get
Like when
get
you hear music on a TV show or a film and you know something bad's about to happen.
Unsettling.
but in a playful kind of way.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I like that kind of contrast, and I feel like there's a lot of juxtaposing those kind of things on the record for sure.
Something bad's happening, but we're all probably going to be okay at the end of it. We're not going to die from the monster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
He might hit us
you should have written the one sheet.
for the next record.
He's gonna mess around with us a little bit, but he's not gonna kill us. So it's a nice monster.
The title itself, Sinister Grift. The more I thought about it, I was like, this is such a good classic album title. And at first, I was just thinking about, I'm assuming it's not about like Bernie Madoff or anything like that. And doing some more research, it's more about your divorce. Is that exact? Is it like a literal?
No, I mean, I wanted to stay away. I didn't want it to be a divorce record, really, or I didn't want to address anything in like a real kind of straightforward way. Yeah, I wanted to
Of course.
keep that kind of away from it, but there's certainly stuff that feels inspired by that time for me, but I don't think of like the characters in the songs as me, although it's kind of me in a way.
Well, I mean, if
Mhm.
it's coming from you, it's kind of got to be a little bit of you, you know.
Yeah, you can't help it a little bit. But the title, I usually just put titles in my phone. I have like a long list of titles in my phone because I'll get real squirrely about them. It'll be a week that I think one of them's really good, and then
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks later I'll be like, that's trash, and kind of
Mhm.
leave it behind. So usually, if a title lasts for 6-8 months, I figure it's pretty good to go. And Sinister Grift I had for a long time, maybe like 5 or 6 years that I just sort of sat on it, and
Oh, okay.
but I wasn't sure exactly what it was going to mean, I suppose. So
Mm.
now on the other side, kind of seeing how I read the songs and how they kind of infuse meaning into the title, I see it as the sort of idea that if we're smart enough, or we plan in the right way, or if we're super careful, if we're quote unquote good people, we can sort of sidestep any sort of pain or regrets, mistakes, stuff like that. That's generally how I think about it.
Okay. As long as I say hi to everyone and pay my taxes and tip 20% and let the old lady cross the street,
Yeah.
nothing bad is ever going to happen
Uh-huh.
to me.
Yeah, I'm never going to hurt anybody or myself.
What is when you have that list
Mhm.
and you're
Mhm.
narrowing it down and things stick around and some things go? Do you have like an inner circle you run this stuff by, or is this all you're the judge and jury and executioner?
Yeah, it's usually just me, for better and for worse. Yeah, I keep it pretty close to the chest generally.
No,
I appreciate that. I think it's probably better that way, but I feel like sometimes it's you need reassurance, to feel like you're
I
doing it.
like the idea that you are literally taking something where, like, is this going to be timeless? And that's a question that no one's ever able to answer. But you're able to just say, I wrote this down 6 years ago and it's still sick. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's time. Like, you found out a way to actually test something that is sort of untestable.
On the music side, I'm definitely more open, and I prefer to have other people kind of come in and either listen to it or work with me on it, just because I trust less my own sort of objectivity about. Especially, you spend so much time working on the demo, writing the words, getting the production right. It's just so much time you spend with the piece of music that I feel like it's really valuable to have an outside ear come in with kind of no experience of the thing at all and just kind of give you a gut reaction to it. I find that really valuable.
Did you get better at doing that as you've gotten older? Like, was it something that you've always been able to do, or was it tough when you were like in your 20s, and now that you're in your 40s, it's a lot easier to ask? Asking for a friend.
I think I've gotten better at it, perhaps.
It wasn't an issue for you before, though. You didn't feel like
it's more that it didn't occur to me so much before. I just wouldn't think like this is a good thing to do. But as soon as I started feeling like maybe the thing will be better if somebody else comes in and says that's wrong or this part is really working. Now I do it no problem.
Yeah, good. Yeah, I mean it's cool. I've seen that happen before when like somebody's been working on a song for so long and they're like, I'm trying to nail the hi-hat EQ and blah blah blah, and you'll play it for someone and like a girl will walk by the door and be like, oh, that bass line's cool. Just have it be the drums and the bass only, and then you do the
kick drums too loud
like,
and as well.
Yeah. Just like, you know, when someone's able to just go down and be like, oh, like that beat makes me want to dance, just take all the other shit out of it. And then you do, and you're like, okay, it's just like the human physical reaction is very important in music.
Yeah, there's stuff that's super obvious to somebody who hasn't been in the trenches with the thing for 6 weeks, you know?
Mm-hmm. Like, hey, that vocal's out of key. You've been spotted wearing Daft Punk shirts over the years, and you've collaborated with them. Nowadays, are you still listening to that type of dance music, or has your Sonic Boom drug party vibe, you know, shifted you into a more of a Villa Lobos-y kind of different style of electronic music?
I like all of it. I'm not super and since I was young, I feel like this is something that really drew the members of Animal Collective together, is that we weren't super tribal about like I'm really into like Crass, or I'm really into post rock or whatever. We just kind of liked everything, and I'm happy to say I'm still very much like that. I tend to focus on, I like new stuff is the most exciting to me, but
new stuff.
Yeah, I don't feel like my tastes have changed super a lot.
Okay. Are you ever DJing?
I am the world's worst DJ, yeah, but I'll do it.
Are you really? How does that work?
I'm terrible. I just I can't figure it out.
From like a technical standpoint?
Every standpoint.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, feels like something you could probably master if you set up some CDJs in this room you're in.
That's what I thought, but people just kind of arms folded, just staring at me.
Can somebody have you like back in the day? Did you ever have to do like a Panda Bear or Animal Collective DJ set for Pepsi Lollapalooza 2012 type of shit?
No, we neither got asked nor would we have said yes to do anything like that. I don't think. But there was a time where after shows, the guys are all really good at DJing, so I would just kind of let them do their thing. But there was a time where we would play the show and then go somewhere else to DJ for a while and then call it a night.
Yeah,
it might be too old.
That's a long night.
We do that for our podcasts. We'll do a live podcast and then I'll DJ and then Chris goes home.
Then you pod somewhere else.
We pod, we'll pod at a proper venue and then go have a party. And I stay, Jason. Look, don't do that.
He stays.
I stayed till 2 a.m. That's later than I should have.
It's pretty good.
That's what I'm saying.
You're right. You're right. 2 out of 4.
I'd like to go home.
Not till the end.
No, not till the end. I can't staying till the end has never been on the table for me.
Fair.
2 a.m. is respectable.
2 a.m. is the perfect.
What time are you going to sleep? No, what hours are you keeping, Noah? When you're at home.
Because my kid, I have to wake with him in the mornings, 7 or so. Usually weekdays, maybe midnight.
Oh, that's not okay. I thought I could see you as a real night owl at some point in your life.
I used to be, yeah, before I had kids. Most of my, especially working, was always after midnight to about 3 or 4. Mm-hmm. But since having kids, kind of everything's different.
Can't even imagine. Okay, I want to talk about food in Lisbon. I've never been. I'm a big food guy. Mm-hmm. What are some must eats over there in Portugal?
I'll start by saying the cuisine here is sort of the inverse to French, in that there's really no sauce. They don't do sauce. They're not into sauce. It's a
sauceless culture in Lisbon.
I mean, outside of the food, I don't want to say that, but certainly in the arena of food, they don't like a sauce.
Okay.
So it's a lot of seafood. Seafood's really good. The grilled fish is the best I've had anywhere. You just gotta go to like a beach zone, and there's always going to be a really amazing grilled fish at the restaurants around.
Aren't there famous like tarts, like
the Portuguese
a pastry?
Tart,
yeah, the pastel de nata is the big thing. Those are good. I think there's a lot of other pastries and sweets that they do. Mostly egg custard based. They're really into that. But there's lots of other ones that are super good besides the really famous one. But the grilled fish is amazing. They do the chicken here is really good. Chicken's like pizza here. That's the kind of cheap go to meal.
Okay,
chicken is pizza.
That's the piri chicken.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like a rotisserie, usually on a charcoal grill kind of thing.
Yeah,
it's really good. Everybody's got their neighborhood spot, just like pizza places in the States.
So you go to the beach, you get the nice grilled fish, and then it's just served dry, no sauce.
A little olive oil and salt. That's it.
All right, Noah. Well, thank you for taking the time to speak with us. The new record is really good. Congrats on all the success, and
thank you.
I will see you, I guess, in a month in LA.
Just
see you at the festival.
Yeah, thanks, Noah. Have a good one, bro. Good to see you.
Likewise, guys. Thanks very much for your time.
Adios.
Bye.